Hello and welcome, everyone. It is great to have you joining us for our next Declutter Club. Welcome in. Happy March. We're so glad that you're here. Are we ready to clear out those clothes closets? So we're opening up just a touch before the hour, give you a moment just to settle in. It's probably been a long day, so you can just get whatever you need to make yourself comfortable so you can enjoy the next hour with us. And please do jump in chat if you'd like to. It's always optional, never required. But if you'd like to say hello, it's always fun to see who's coming back, who's here for the first time. We're really becoming like our own little group of friends and family. Joe's here. Great. Good to see you, Joe. Welcome in. So yeah, we're sort of just, coming back together again. Maybe you're here for the first time. Let us know. Coming back, maybe you've been here before. We always love to know that too. So jump in the chat if you'd like to. Again, always optional. And we've got just about 60 seconds. So the countdown is on. So many of us are, kind of popping in here and getting to see friends that have come. We meet the first Thursday of every month, unless it lands close to a holiday. So we're glad to have you here. Great, Joanne from the Maplewood Library out by me. Babs from Queens. Yep, again, we're going East Coast, a little friends. Oh, here we go. Massachusetts in the house. Lovely. Good to see everyone. Welcome, welcome. Returning, we always love to see you coming back. First timers, we welcome you in. And thank you everyone for sort of jumping in the chat and saying hi to friends and welcoming new friends. Anne Marie for the third time. That's awesome. Oh my goodness, look at everyone rolling in. If you're just joining us, we've got a few seconds before we'll officially begin. So Joe and Lisa, hello Anne and Carol. Our Barbara, Adair, good to see you. Joe, Mary G, woohoo. Lou Ann is here. Fantastic. Jeannie, that's great. Johanna, good to see you. Pat, oh, Joseph and Eileen. I think Joseph is Anne Marie. Eileen and Diane, Sherry, here we go. The list goes on. Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. And a big thank you to the Chelmsford Library for making our programs possible and continuing to have us back the first Thursday of every month. So welcome in. It's March, which means it's time for spring cleaning our clothes closet. I've prepared a little slide deck for you. So let's jump in. Can anyone beat Jeanette, who's here for the 7th time? Let us know. It's always fun. Yeah, so there's a great question rolling in the chat about if you are able to take screenshots. Absolutely. So this is a webinar format. I can't see you, but hopefully you can see me. More importantly, you can see the slides. So no one's personal information is shared on screen. We can't see you, so there's no concern there, and you're welcome to snap a photo or two. So grab whatever you need to make yourself comfortable for the presentation. We'll be together just about an hour. And with that, let us begin our slide deck. I cannot wait to share this information with you. Welcome to our March Declutter Club. It's here. We waited and we waited and we waited, and here we go. Hopefully you'll be back for April, but right now we're going to do a little chat check-in. So say hi if you haven't already. Let us know where you're joining from if you'd like to. It's always optional. If you've been here before, we're trying to beat 7 times, so let us know in the chat. And if you're a first timer, please do let us know. That way we can welcome you warmly, and we do hope that you'll return. So this is really, it's becoming like friends and family and all the things. So we love that. Multiple times, lost count. Well, that's a good thing. It just means we're coming back to focus on another area, circle back to something we've worked on, be among friends that are all of a like mind, that are just trying to get it together. Deborah's here for the first time, and we hope it won't be your last. So it is lovely, lovely to see you. Oh, I met Wendy over a decade ago. So see, longtime friends getting it together. We love this. So what you'll notice is this is a webinar format. So there's no microphones for you. You're just sort of behind the scenes. And that's because we have a very large active group and usually like 200 plus attendees. We're getting real close to that right now. So how fun. And everyone's ready to clear out their clothes closet. Absolutely. So this is our spring clean your clothes closet, hopefully pretty easily. And let's jump in for how we can do that together. Are you ready? Give us a yes in the chat. If you're active in the chat, jump in. Give us a Y or a yes if you're ready to spring clean your clothes closet. Maybe most importantly, easily. Oh, yes, that's what we're looking for. We need easy. We're busy. There's a lot going on. And here we go. So let us know, have you ever done this? This would be the, I'm going to clear out my clothes closet and we just sort of toss everything on the bed. Has anyone ever done that? I'm guessing a few of us because I know I absolutely did for years. What's interesting is as an organizer, sometimes I don't always apply my own ideas to myself. And so this is what I would do. And I would get like inspired. I'd have that burst of like motivation. And I'm like, let's do this. And then I'd pull everything out. And then I'd wonder, what had I done? And so Eileen's wondering, wait, is it this the way? Is it this how we all do it? Right? It's sort of like what you might see in articles or magazines, maybe on a television show where they're like, take everything out of the closet. It'll be fine. And then we just kind of throw it on the bed, maybe make some piles. And then all of a sudden you're sleeping on the couch for the next 6 weeks because no one can find their bed under all the stuff. I think it's a challenge to do it this way. It could be done, and maybe it's more your style, but I thought I would show you a way that's worked a little bit easier for me. So what's interesting is Lynn is sharing, spent 3 hours helping her daughter do this, separated everything into categories and found lots of new items. And that's what's so fun. We're probably going to find lots of treasures, things we forgot about. So that's kind of the fun part of this whole thing. It's like a little treasure hunt. We hit the jackpot when you're like, whoa, a new pair of jeans. I forgot about that sweatshirt. So yes, there should be some fun things along the way. But if it has looked like this, and you don't want it to look like this anymore, what can we do? So instead of pulling everything out, which is a strategy and it has its place, but I don't know if it's right for everyone, we're going to do a little bit of a reverse here. We're going to sort of shift it around. Are you ready for the idea that does not involve taking everything out of the closet? Let me tell you what that is, and it's all about shopping your closet. Shopping your closet. So I'll just say that I don't tend to put a lot of effort, energy into my fashion, right? I think I have other maybe interests and priorities, but I totally understand if fashion's your thing. I really admire my friends. I have 3 younger sisters, and one just has such a style, right? She just pulls off like the newest fashion. It's important to her. She works in education, and so like she's always meeting new students, and that's like her thing. It's not so much my thing. So I just want to say that I want to speak to all of us, whether you have a lot of fashion clothes and you're really like more trendy, or you're just kind of like, I've got my basic clothes that I love. You join me month after month, and you'll always see me in a tank top, like sort of like a little tank top, and then a cardigan. And I have them in a variety of colors, and they all pretty much sort of coordinate together. Like that's my uniform when I join you for a program like this over Zoom. So how did I get from a closet? Now I have a closed closet that the doors are bypassed, right? So they pass one another. So it's not a pull open. So you sort of see the right side or the left side. You never really see the middle. In a pull open closet, depending on the style, you might see the middle more than the right or the left. Sometimes a closet is deeper or wider or oddly shaped or has a weird ceiling. I mean, there's a lot going on in closets. And maybe you have a walk-in closet. And if you did, I wonder when the last time you walked into the closet was. And it might be the day you moved into your apartment or home, right? It's like, oh my gosh, I've been meaning to get to this. So my invitation to you is to shop your closet. So we're going to look at how we could do that. And it's how I was able to go from these two. So the room is a whole length of the room, which is what, 12 feet. And it's two bypass closet doors. And it was full. It was full of clothes, but I only ever wore the same things over and over again, which for me was kind of fine, except I was wasting so much space and money because I kept buying things, but then I wasn't wearing them for a variety of reasons. And we don't have to go down all of them, but you probably, maybe, possibly have done the same thing. For me, it's usually, oh, I saw someone like wear an awesome jean jacket and I loved how it looked, but then I didn't like how it looked on me. And so I probably knew it wasn't going to quite be for me, but I was like, maybe this time I'll like it. And then I didn't. And I didn't return it by the time to return. And so I'm the owner of a jean jacket or another jean jacket that I won't wear. So we're going to shop the closet. That is my invitation to you in terms of how you might go from a closet filled with clothes that we're not quite sure what's in there, find things you totally forgot about, new items with tags on them. And I'm going to give you a staggering, well, possibly staggering statistic. The average clothes closet in America has $720 of unworn clothing inside. So we're thinking things with tags on them, and that does include shoes. So it depends if you shop at maybe the higher end stores and have designer names, then that would probably be one thing. If it's more like the places that I shop, it's probably a few more things than that. But $720, it could be money back in your bank account, money back in your pocket. And then you would own what you wear, right? And wear what you own, which I think for a lot of us is really the goal. But how do we know what we have and how do we make it work? So, this is the idea. I'm inviting you to consider to try to choose 3 articles of clothing that mix and match with 3 other pieces. And an ultimate goal for this season, let me just clarify, for this season would be 60 clothes hangers. That's not going to include outerwear like jackets or raincoats and things like that. And it probably doesn't include any, very casual wear like leggings or exercise equipment or even pajamas. But I'm thinking things like 60 clothes hangers. We're talking, jeans and skirts and shorts and button downs and sweaters, even though I know we probably don't hang sweaters because they can get like that weird hanger pull and then you can't get that out and that's a whole thing. But think of like 60-ish hangers. Now, that may seem like a lot. It may not seem like enough. I'm not sure, right? But for the season, that's maybe a goal, and we can see if we need to adjust that number. So, remember I said I wear a lot of tank tops and a lot of cardigans. So for this season, so I just swapped over from like the winter colors into more of the spring color. This navy, which I think is reading black on the screen, but it's actually navy, is more of like a winter color, but I'm pulling it over into spring. Anyway, I could basically just reach my hand into the closet and pull out a tank top and pull out a cardigan, and they would coordinate. I don't know if it would be my favorite color combination. It might be something like, I don't know, pink and olive, and you may love that color combination. I don't know that it's my favorite, but it would work. And that's the idea, that one garment, one article of clothing will mix and match with at least 3 others, which gives you a lot of options. So the way I think of this is like as if I was going on vacation, an extended vacation. Oh, if you were going to go on an extended vacation, where would you go? Would you go somewhere? Would you want to stay home? Stay home and tell people you went on vacation, but just stay home? Let us know in the chat. Where would you go? If you were going away for like 2, 3 months, is there somewhere you'd want to go? I don't know. Thinking like a tour, a cruise that long would probably be too long. But if I was on an extended vacation, I would want to pack. I would want to pack enough that I had options, but not so much that my luggage was weighed down. I would want to pack the things that were easy to care for. It would probably be things that I looked good in and I felt flattered me so that if I'm in photos, I'm going to enjoy looking back at the photos. On vacation, I don't want to hand wash anything. I don't want to have to iron things. I don't have to be worried about weird zippers that I can't get up and down. I don't want to be worried about, a metallic thread running through a sweater that makes me itchy. So I would want comfortable, mix and match, easy to care for, flattering in my opinion, my size, my style, the right season. So all the things. Oh my gosh, I love every idea about where you're going and where we can see ourselves going. And I'm voting with Estelle, any beach. Although I say that and then I'm like maybe a lake because the beach has a lot of sand, but something with water. I think something with water would be my choice. So again, in season, in style, and I mean style and size and season for you, right? So there you may say, well, my lifestyle these days is sort of maybe a little more casual. I find myself taking classes, I run some errands, maybe I watch the grandchildren, but like I'm not, getting dressed up a lot, and maybe I'm not in an office setting. Maybe I am more in an office setting. I need more blazers, more button down. And maybe you have kind of like a uniform for your day, which might look like, comfortable sweats, a zipper up sweatshirt, and maybe a comfortable t-shirt underneath. And that's kind of like your semi-retired, retired uniform. So, we're all at different stages and phases, and we have different interests. And you may love to really dress up and wear a fashion scarf and be super trendy. And I couldn't even really say maybe what the trends are these days, but I know it changes, like different sleeve lengths and things. So if you could imagine for this season, so figure something like March, April, May, or April, May, June, something like that. So kind of warm, depends on where you're joining us from, right? But still a little bit maybe layering as the season starts to change. It's maybe not super hot. Again, depends on where you're joining us from for sure. But I'm, considering where the library is located in Massachusetts, right? So probably still some layers happening. So if our goal is 60 hangers, what would that look like for you? So you could take any empty hangers that you have, and that's just a great strategy right off the bat. Just take any empty hangers that are sort of stuck in between clothing and move them to one side of the bar. Because when you remove the empty hangers, it instantly like looks a little more straightened up, a little, plus the clothes aren't at risk of getting damaged. Um, Empty hangers get stuck on stuff. They do make hanger organizers. I'm not saying you have to go buy one. It's like a little triangle so that you can just put the hangers there, and then it can sit on the floor, or you can hang it from the wall. But you could even just put a hook on the inside of the door or on the inside of the wall of the closet to put the empty hangers, or just move them all to one side. That way you can always find one, but also they don't risk damaging the garments that are there. And so we're thinking about the idea of about 60 hangers. So see how many you have empty, and then start moving garments over that would like make your trip, right? Like what would you pack? What do you need for the next 3 months? So we're not thinking about the rest of the year right now, but just to make it easy, right? Which is the whole idea of this uh, time tonight. And we want to make it easy. So shop the closet to make outfits, make matches, make coordinating pieces. So if you love a particular pair of pull-on pants, then, can you find two or three tops that work well with that? And then we move them to the more or most convenient part of the closet. More convenient, most convenient. So for me, that would be right or left, because center I can't reach. For you, if you have a pull open door, then probably center. If you have bifolds, if you don't have a closet door, if you don't have a closet, and sometimes we don't. So sometimes we're using more of a rolling, clothes organizer style. So whatever you have, I would invite you to shop your closet, which I think we've covered now. With a goal of 60 hangers, it may end up being more if that feels too limiting, but remember it's a season. And then we're looking to mix and match. So I want to give you a little formula. Are you ready for a formula? We were going to think of a 3-2-1 formula. Are you ready? 3-2-1. Three neutrals. Three neutrals. So for different times of the year, and depending on your fashion style and the colors you gravitate towards, you would consider probably like a brown, a navy, a white, a cream, a black. Definitely would probably fall under like even like a khaki color, a tan would fall under the neutrals, right? But I would also consider like a merlot or an olive to also be neutrals, because you can pair so much with them. So think of like three neutrals. And then we're going to think of two accent colors. And I want to just say a range, right? So if blue is the accent color, it's going to go all the way from like your deeper navies and your midnight blues to like middle, like royals, and then like baby blues and light blues, right? Like the whole range of blues. And that way we're really narrowing down, not so limiting that it's just one blue color, but it's like all the shades of blue, which would also probably include like this periwinkle that I'm wearing under the navy, but then also maybe like the aquas and the teals, unless you don't tend to wear those colors, maybe you're wearing a deeper tone. And then the time of year might also account for, the shades of that color. But if you think of three neutrals matched with two like signature colors for the season, doesn't mean you can't wear some random yellow sweatshirt if that's not your yellow, isn't one of your colors. I'm just saying for the most like coordination of this. And then one pattern. So three neutrals, two hues, color hues, and then one pattern. And that's because you probably, unless you're like very fashion forward, you're probably not wearing like a window pane with a flower or a stripe with a checker. Now, some people can really pull that off. I don't tend to do a lot of patterns in general, but you may have florals or you may have more of like a damask. So we want to think of this. Now, if you wear a lot of patterns and colors, then that would probably become one of your colors because you have a lot of patterns for the season. But if you don't, then we're really looking, doesn't mean you can't have some others, but one main. So I'm going to do polka dots this season. So this would sort of allow you to have a wide variety of clothes that all mix and match together. So basically, you could pull two things out of the closet. They're probably going to go and pair well together. This does not include, your very fancy dress or your business suit and things like that. That's maybe towards the back. We'll look at those. But the idea is everyday clothing. We just want to make it easy to get dressed. And in fact, you could start to make outfits. So you could take a hanger and you could actually coordinate a whole outfit together. And how interesting would that be? Then when you go to get dressed, you could just pull a hanger out and go, yep, this is what I'm going to wear today. Done. Easy, easy, easy. So 60 hangers is a goal. And what this is called is a capsule collection. So if you're looking to sort of name it, it would be called or considered or defined as a capsule collection. It's the idea of a limited number of articles of clothing, about 60, that mix and match together. And this would be for maybe one season. Then I would invite you to, and you probably already guessed this part, but then we're going to go shopping again. And we're going to look for clothes in the closet that are now going to extend our spring collection into our summer. Now, do you put spring away and bring out summer? Do you keep some of the spring out and incorporate summer? Or do you just leave everything out at once? And there's no right or wrong answer. It really depends on how much space you have, because clothes are actually, and I know this might be surprising, so just maybe you want to highlight this in your notes or underline it or put an exclamation point, but spoiler alert, clothes are actually supposed to be able to move on the hanger. They're not meant to be jammed up against one another. I know, shocking, shocking. So think about how like a store displays them. They're not meant to be like too close to one another. They like a little breathing room. They like a little space. So you definitely want to like give them that. Otherwise, they get wrinkled and strange things happen when you take them back out. They don't look the same as when you put them in. So this is our goal. Are we inspired to maybe think about this? Because remember, we are going to have that tidy up moment. If you're new to our Clutter Club, one of the things we get to do together is I set a timer and invite you to, and it's always optional, to walk or roll away over into the closet area and get started. You could work on a dresser drawer tonight. You could start making some outfits. You could put some laundry away. And if that wasn't quite right, then certainly you can substitute in an organizing adventure of your own, whatever that looks like. And it might look like, if you're just going to kind of stay here with us, it might look like you're just going to grab your phone and do a little digital decluttering, maybe deleting some emails. So you can certainly make progress in whatever area feels right. You might just want to put some things away from a very long day, or just sit quietly with us while everyone is off and doing something, and we'll pick up right back that after our timed moment. So there are some questions you can ask yourself when you are decluttering the clothes closet. And one question is, I didn't know. So you could ask yourself, oh, wait, I didn't know this was in here? Huh. So anytime you hear yourself going, I didn't know I owned that. Oh, I didn't know that was here. Oh, I didn't remember I put that there. That would be a big clue that just maybe if you didn't know you had it, how much would you really miss it if you simply let it pass right through and put it into a bag for donation or to ask family or friends about. So I have three younger sisters. I usually send them a picture and I'm like, I'm decluttering this out of my closet. If you want it, first one that says yes, it's yours. And then you have to pick it up. And I usually give them till the end of the month. So they know if I asked you in March, you have till March to either come and get it or remind me to bring it to you. And if I miss you in March, it's probably getting donated. So if you're following along in Keep This, Toss That, if you have a copy or you borrowed it from the library, just in case you're wondering, there was a question about which chapter we're in. It's chapter 6. So it's bedrooms and clothing, and it's written in the checklist, right? So you can just follow along, keep this and toss that. So I just want to give you a little clue. There's a little keep this, toss that clue on page 117, and it says, just because pieces came together as a set does not mean you have to keep them together. I know, gasp. For example, a dress might have come like with a belt, but you don't need to necessarily keep them together. If you don't wear belts, there you can absolutely let it go. So there's a long list here, and we're going to be talking a little bit about it. But if you didn't know, that is a really good indicator that you might not miss it, and you can put it right into a box or a bag for donation. And we'll be talking resources in just a minute. Would you be sad if it was ruined? So if you took it out of the closet and you realized that, it had become stained in the closet, which happens. Sometimes you think it's clean when you put it away, but then just, air in the environment, there's a big stain, something you totally forgot about, it had gotten torn, a hanger got stuck on it and, ripped it in a way that wouldn't maybe be repairable easily or at all. So would you be sad if it was ruined? And I absolutely understand. My initial instinct would be, yes, I'm sad. Like, I'm sad that it got ruined. Maybe I can't give it to someone now, or whatever that is. But beyond that initial, like, yes, of course I would be sad if it was ruined. Like, how devastated would you really be? Because the decision would be made for you. And that's the interesting part about asking that question. And that is the idea that, would you be sad if it was ruined? Yes, I'd be sad. But now will I be devastated that I have to simply recycle it versus, I could have kept it and worn it? And I'm not saying we want it to be ruined. I'm just saying it's a good qualifier for some of us to go, yeah, you know what? I wouldn't really be that sad. Well, then maybe I'd be okay letting it go. So we love that. Yes, the Linda, I'll share that again with you. It's keep this, toss that. Keep this, toss that, published by Reader's Digest. Keep this, toss that, and again, I wrote it. So Jamie Novak, and it's published by Reader's Digest. Debbie found a new pair of sneakers. I've totally done that. And I would say that there's no way I could do that, and then I totally do it. So I love it. And Mary G mentions in the chat, and I love this idea when we were talking about creating outfits. She's actually adding the accessories. So if there's like a necklace or cufflinks or a fashion scarf or a belt that would be worn with it, not because it came with it, but because that's how you want to wear it, why not gather all that together? Put it over the neck of the hanger so the entire outfit is together and ready to go. I love that. And then I have don't keep, and then it's a fill in the blank, right? So you're going to answer this question, but you might say, well, I don't keep more than 2 pairs of business shoes. I don't keep any shoe that has a heel because I don't wear shoes anymore. I don't keep anything that is dry clean only or hand wash. I don't keep more than 10 t-shirts. I don't keep more than 2 pairs of capri jeans. So sometimes it's a number thing, mostly based on space, but also what you wear. But also it could just be a great qualifier. So when you go in and you're like, yeah, I don't keep anything that's that synthetic material because I'm always too hot. Or I don't keep that because it ends up needing to be ironed and I don't choose to spend my time that way. It doesn't mean that someone else can't use and love it and enjoy it. It just means if you're not, then why hold on to it? So I don't keep and then fill in the blank. So this is a great strategy for answering that question before you touch the first garment. So you already know, oh, I don't keep if it's like a weird sleeve length, or if it's too low of a cut neck, or if it's too tight of a neck. Maybe you don't wear turtlenecks. So then I don't keep turtlenecks. And that is a true story because I don't like a turtleneck. I don't like how they look on me. I don't like how they feel around my neck. I don't mind some mock necks. And you're going to say, well, why don't you just stretch out the, like neck of the turtleneck and make it more like a cow neck? Yes, but sometimes it has spandex and then it bounces back. And so it's just not a me thing. So I don't know. I don't buy them now because I always think I like them, but I never do. Oh, great question. Diane sharing, would I buy this again today? Oh, and would I buy this again today? And maybe I'm going to add to that, Diane, at full price, which is probably what you meant. But I would say at full price, because would I buy it if it was like $1 at a garage sale? Would I buy it if it was on sale? But buy it today at full price? No, thank you. Right. So that's just a little bit of an extra qualifier for me. And that was a question that it looks like Diane asked herself and was able to part with 83 pieces of clothing last year. So that's really fascinating. I wonder if you tried to guess like how many hangers you have, how many items you have right now, like what that number would be. That would be really interesting, I think, to consider. So, and see if you're right. I'm just saying to see if you're right and then pare down. So maybe you pare down by half, maybe you go to the 60 for the season. So 60 for the season is my goal. And there we go. Yeah, I know there's a whole discussion happening in chat now about like necklines and feeling cold, not cold, all the things. I don't keep anything if it is a material that will be cold on my neck if I'm outside in the cold because it's uncomfortable. And I absolutely understand that not everyone has the luxury of, going through a closet and picking something because they just don't like it. We have so many things. We're here today because we're trying to figure out what to do with them. And I'm going to share a bunch of resources with you. So we're going to do that in just a bit. Let us now turn our attention to a treasure box. And this is just a solution for those of us, and I'm raising my hand here, that have a bit of a sentimental streak. And so you have a t-shirt that you maybe got when you ran a race or you volunteered, or it was like the last polo you wore at that job, all of those different things. And so you might want to keep it. Maybe it's inherited clothing, maybe it's children's clothing if you have children, grandchildren, like special pieces and just special things. And so this would be something to maybe put into some sort of a box or container, and it will be where you put those special things. Otherwise, they're just mixed in with all the other stuff. And along the lines of talking about mixed in with all the other stuff, if I have anything that is holiday specific, like a t-shirt with fireworks on it, I will pack that away with the seasonal decor for the home because I would only ever wear that really like one day. Now you might feel differently and be like, that's my favorite shirt. I wear it all the time. But I'm saying if it's like super specific, and I think of that because my mother was a nurse. And so for every season, she had her outfits with like the designs on them, but then they were in her closet all year round. So we started packing them away and bringing them out, and it made a lot more sense and it freed up a lot of space. We didn't have a lot of closet space. It was a Cape Cod home style growing up, and very, very limited closet space. So absolutely. Sue's reminding us if I haven't worn it in X amount of time, then I'll donate it. Absolutely. And we're going to talk about how you can figure that out in just a minute. Sharon's got a great question about wedding dresses or gowns worn for a wedding. So hang on for the answer to that. I love it. Wow, so many of you are sharing awesome, awesome stories. And yes, thank you for also sharing resources. And that's a great one. And we'll share more. Thank you. I love our group. I love that we're like all sharing things, and oh, it's just wonderful. So a treasure box for special items, highly recommend it. So this is that reverse hanger trick. So it was just mentioned in the chat about if I don't wear it in a certain amount of time, but how do I know? And so if the clothes are on hangers and the hangers are facing one direction in the closet, if over the next month or during the season, you wear, wash, and return something to the closet, what if you reverse the hanger? So at the end of the season, everything still in the original position will be a visual clue, right? So you don't have to guess. Like, did I wear it? I don't know. I think I did. Maybe I'll save it just in case. What if? No, it is an absolute no, I didn't wear this. Now, I'm not saying you have to donate it or get rid of it or do anything with it. I'm just saying it will give you a very good visual of really what you're wearing versus what you don't, because I would have said, oh, I wore that, and then I realized that I hadn't, or I didn't realize I wore something as much as I did. So it's really interesting in case you're not sure. It's a good clue, like a really good indicator, a little experiment. And Diane's repurposing her tunics as nightgowns. I love it. Well, it is that time. It's our favorite time, possibly, of getting together. And this is because, life is busy. These months are flying by. We got together in January and February, and here we are in March. And you're like, how is it the third one of the year already? So we don't want to rush the season. We don't want to rush our clubs. But I'm just saying, if you're like, whoa, wait a minute, how is this time going by so quickly? I could give you an hour's worth of ideas, which means you'd have to listen to me talk for a whole hour. And then you'd be like, okay, good luck on your own. See you next month. And you'd be like, wait, I'm supposed to do this now? Like, life is busy. You get drawn back into your to-do list. There's a lot going on. And then the month goes by and you're like, oh, I meant to do that. So if you'd like to take some time with us now, we're going to do a little bit more of an extended time than we typically do. And that's just because for clothes, you might need to get to a different room, a different floor in your home. If for any reason clothes is not an option for you now, you simply choose not to, or it's not an option, don't worry. I'm pretty sure you can find another organizing adventure that you can go on that will be this length of time. So think about if there's something you'd like to work on. We're going to take 7 minutes. So I'm going to pop up a clock for 7 minutes on our timer. And if you'd like to join us, and I sure hope that you would, you can do a little digital decluttering for that amount of time. You could go off and do something. You could put things away from the day. But to make that progress, to really recognize first how long the 7 minutes is, because it's probably longer than you're imagining, which means you can get more done than you're anticipating. We're also playing Race the Clock, so you can see how long things take and you might work a little faster. Because we're all here cheering you on, you're going to want to come back with a success that you can report in the chat if you'd like to, or just come back and go, I did that. And then we've jump started it, so you don't feel all the pressure of having to do it all on your own. For all those reasons and many more, I'm hoping you'd like to join us now for a 7-minute moment. It is 7:34 East Coast time. We're going to begin our 7 minutes. I won't teach anything new, so you won't miss anything. And when we come back, we're going to share all the resources and answer all your questions. I'm also going to tell you the one thing that belongs in your closet today, in my opinion. So if you'd like to get started with us, we'll begin in 3, 2, 1, and go. 7:35. So we're coming back at 7:42, 7 minutes on our timer. Let's get tidy. 7-minute moment. Let's see what you're going to get done. Our timer is ticking. And we're 1 minute in, 6 minutes to go. Plenty of time. 1 minute in, 6 minutes to go. We're going to be coming up on the halfway mark. You are 4 minutes ready to roll. 4 minutes. And it's official. You're halfway through. Love it. Y'all are reporting what's going on. I love it. Timer's ticking. 3 minutes. Finish strong. Is there one more thing you can do before that buzzer rings? We're coming up on that 2-minute warning. How's it going? Timer's ticking. This is it. Love it. Some of you are trying on shoes and seeing what's not working anymore. 1 minute and 30 seconds. Our timer is ticking down. How's it going? Final 90 seconds. Tick, tick, tick. You've got this. We are wrapping up our live moment in 1 minute. If you're back and you want to share what you've been working on in the chat, please do. We always love to read what you've got going on. And if that doesn't work, don't worry. It's just an option. Always fun to read what's going on. Ah, scarf hanger, yes. Got those shoes going. Everyone's been busy. Final 45 seconds. And this is it. We'll count it down together. There's 30 seconds. Are you ready to come back? Hopefully no one put all their clothes on their bed. 30 seconds to go. Karen, great question. I bag up the pens and I bring them. You can check with a local library. I'll give them to someone like a host or a server at a restaurant. And those are good places. I'm always walking away with their pens, so they usually appreciate, or a cashier. Yeah, just give them to, oh, you could also just donate them. Donate them as a bag. And 2 seconds, 1 second, and there's our jazzy little timer. Our jazzy little timer is saying, you did it. We did it. It's time. Welcome back. If you'd like to come back, join us again. So, all right, we've got a couple of questions in the chat and in the Q&A, but first I'd like to celebrate your success. So whatever you found yourself working on, we love to support you and really cheer that win. The thing is, this is not one and done. It's an ongoing process. So we work on it and we do a little more. I think that's the best way to get this done versus what happens is you pull everything out and then it doesn't really ever get back. So this is a little moments. Now, if you would like to pull everything out, the idea would be to group it together, try it on, what you're going to keep, what you're going to donate, what needs to be recycled. So it can be done in groupings, but it's just not typically for most of us going to be the best way to do it. So little moments tends to work out better. Plus clothes are really heavy. So I'm going to share with you the thing that I think every closet needs. You'll see it on the screen. Let's see if you can guess what it is. I love that you're sharing with us what you were working on in the chat. Thank you for that. Clothes or otherwise, it's fantastic. We're going to look at numbers in just a minute, Kate, so hang on for that. I love the question, so it's a good one. Now let's just see. There was a question and I don't want to forget about it. Okay. So if you find that like sometimes you like a size 10, sometimes a 12 feels better, sometimes a size 14 is right, and then sometimes we're back to a 10. I do think to keep the main core pieces that last well in storage, that are your favorites at that size, that you have space for, I absolutely think works. I wouldn't have everything out at one time. I would have the right style, the right season, the right size for now. So just like you'd be putting away a different season of clothing or moving it to a less convenient spot in the closet, then yes, I would absolutely keep some of those pieces. Um, but the stuff like a random inexpensive flimsy-ist t-shirt that when you wash it, it gets a hole in it, I probably wouldn't save it because it's probably not my favorite. So I hope that helps. We were focused mostly on the closet, but of course, dresser drawers, it's a great question that came up. And I would start with the dresser drawer you haven't used most recently, and then start at the bottom of the drawer. And that's when you find like all the things you didn't know you had. Um, I actually don't have a dresser anymore. So I gave the dresser away and I have a low shelf in the closet. I guess it's like a low table, and it has the big plastic milk crate because they have holes in them for airflow so clothes don't get like, stale smelling. And I bought as I replaced socks, I bought all of the same athletic socks. So one bin is socks. I could just grab two. I don't have to match them anymore. One is like loungewear and stuff that doesn't get wrinkly. So I could just grab and go, and I don't have a dresser anymore because I would like just put stuff on top of the dresser. It was like a magnet for like clutter, and then I wasn't using the drawers as efficiently. So that just worked better for me. No one says you have to have a dresser, but you may love your dresser. So you can. There's a question about layering your clothes on a hanger. You can. The challenge is that whether you are layering multiple clothes on one hanger, I would question how easy it's going to be and how much you'll remember what's underneath. If you're making an outfit, I think that's very different. But if you're putting like 4 sweaters on one hanger, it's not designed for that, so it can damage the clothing. I think you'll forget what's underneath, but probably the most important part is it's going to be all that extra weight on the bar, right? And so if your closet, I mean, I'm assuming the bar is in the studs of the wall, but it's designed for a specific amount of weight. I don't know how much weight that is, but if you start adding 4 things to every hanger, that's going to be like what, quadruple? I'm not a scientist, but I think it's like quadruple the weight or something. I don't know. We're going to need someone to help me out with this, but you know what I mean? So like they have these double hang bars, and think of it like a swing. So the 2 chains attached to the bar that's installed in your closet, and then it has another bar and you can adjust how far down that bar is. So it's designed to put like shirts on top and then hang the pants from the secondary bar. So you're making space of the lower amount of open space in the closet, which is great as long as you don't overfill it and then the bar falls down in the middle of the night, which is very scary. And then you've got to get it installed. And if you're a renter, it can be expensive, because you're in charge of that. So it's a lot of stuff. So great question about like fluctuating sizes. There's a lot of excellent comments and questions rolling in. I'm going to try to keep up. Okay, so on the screen, what you're seeing is a bag. And that's because my invitation to you is, if possible, if you've got a little footprint in the closet, so a little open floor space, where you could place a bag, or if you can hang like a tote bag from a hanger, or do a box. A box will work too. A pop-up laundry basket, something slim. I prefer the style that stands up on its own and that's also not a hazard to children or pets, because if it's going to be on the floor, I wouldn't want it to be like a plastic bag. So some sort of a bag or container, easily accessible in the closet. So as you find yourself passing by something or trying it on and going, what was I thinking? This is not a good color. Whenever I wear like a dove gray, like a very light gray, someone that day is going to ask me if I feel okay. It's just going to happen. I just wait for the person that's going to ask me. I don't buy clothing in that color anymore. It's just not flattering. I don't particularly like it, but I also don't like how I look in it. And someone's going to ask me if I feel okay. So that's the kind of thing that if I like was gifted one, or maybe it was free because I volunteered, and then I'm like, nope, right into the bag. Otherwise, you put it back and then you have to come back and decide about it later, which that's never fun. So I hope that helps. Okay, so the one thing that I suggest that's free to add to your closet is some sort of a bag or a box or container a pop-up laundry basket, a small laundry basket, something that's designed for donating, that as you pass something by, you can just drop it in, and then when it's full, you can let it go. So that's something you may be able to add to your closet sooner rather than later. I love everything that's going out the door. You all are just sharing so many really cool things. And then we're gonna have a fashion show. It looks like some of us are finding things to try on. So that's something you could do, maybe like a commercial break from a television show, or while the laundry's in, pop in the laundry. Unless you do laundry in a laundry room, then don't have a fashion show in a public laundry room. But you know what I mean, like add it to your calendar so we remember to do it before next month. And then you can come back next month and be like, I tried on all my clothes, and I've pared down to so many hangers. So here is an insider secret. Are you ready? I feel like we need some sort of like a drum roll or a big, a big reveal, but wax paper. So how many of us probably have a box of wax paper? It's somewhere in the kitchen or the pantry area. And so if you'd like, you could try this technique, and that is to take a little strip of wax paper. If your closet rod, whether it's wood or metal, if your hangers are not gliding along, a little bit of wax paper. So just kind of like have it go around the bar, and then very carefully just, slide yourself down the bar. And with any luck, a little bit of that wax will be released from the paper and be applied to the bar. And then your hangers, if all goes well and the materials are correct, because sometimes wood is different, but hopefully your hangers will glide more easily. And the important part is now there'll be space for them to glide, because we're paring down how much we've crammed in the closet. So I love it. Yay. Okay. So easy to find what we want, easy to know what we have. Like, this is the whole goal, and to wear what we're keeping. So if you have some formal things, so for example, if you have gowns or wedding gowns or things like that, and you want to donate them, you can check Once Upon a Closet. You can also check with like a local high school, because sometimes before prom time, which would be getting close to now, they do a drive, and then seamstresses and tailors will adjust things for students that, could use a little something that they don't have in their closet. So you could look at Once Upon a Dress. There's others. I'll give you some resources in a minute. If they're for you, because we're not always invited to all these fancy events, but then when we are, the minute you give away like the little black dress or something like that, you're like, wait a minute, now I'm invited to something. And so I had this dress that was like a beautiful, like a tea length with flowers. I don't know, just, on one of those moments where for whatever reason, I just bought it, and then I just never wore it because it didn't go with anything. But I knew the minute I let it go, like someone was going to invite me to a garden party. No one still invited me to a garden party, so I'm okay. But I really had the sense of like, the minute I let this go, someone is going to invite me. So we don't want that to happen. Oh, we've got a great resource. Julie's saying Jordan's Furniture is collecting dresses now, it sounds like. So I will take a look for that and see if we can get you some information. We love that. Jordan's Furniture. So here's my favorite product, and this is not an ad, so please don't take it as one. I just want to share. It truly is something I use in almost all my closets. They come in a variety of sizes and styles. So you'll see that it is it's a fabric container. These are stacked, so this is 3 of them, but it's a fabric container, a very heavy, like a canvas, like it's a pretty thick fabric, and it has a metal insert. The metal piece is already in there. You just pop it open. It has a clear window in the front that zippers down like a tent, but you could also fill it from the top. It has integrated handles, so they're attached on the sides, and then it has a panel on the side. So depending on which way you put it onto the shelf, you'll still be able to visually see what's in there. And then if they're turned to the front, you'll be able to just zipper it down to get what you need. So when we talk about out of size, I should say, so I have one of one size and one of a different size. So if I needed like those pants would be a little more comfortable, but I don't even know where they are. Now I know where they are. So you could label them. There's a little pocket for a label. You can see them at Amazon if that's where you shop. I know not everyone does, but if you wanted to look at them, there are other brands and other sizes. Just always look at the reviews. And if you're not sure what size you need, get out that measuring tape. Measure how much space there is from the floor if you're going to stack them on the floor. From the floor to the first shelf, like how much space is there? How deep are your shelves if they're going to sit on a shelf? And then if I don't know how much space I need for what I'm going to put inside, I will pile it up, and then measure the pile. But these do compress slightly, so you can kind of smush stuff down and you'll get a lot more in there than you think. Like you could get like 2 large comforters in the large size. Like they're truly more spacious than you might imagine if you don't mind squishing stuff. So easy to get stuff out of season, out of size. Your stories are amazing. Thank you everyone for sharing all these awesome ideas. And I wish I could say them all out loud, but I'm reading everything. So thank you for that. So these are some, they're just storage. They're called storage bags, but they have a frame. And I think that's the important part. So they're waterproof and they're also pest proof if you get like those little moths and stuff. So for all the reasons, they are my favorite. So my invitation to you is going forward, can we shop at home first? If you take like nothing else from this entire time together, and I hope there's been some little nuggets for you, but if there's nothing else, can we shop at home first? Because that is going to allow us to use what we have, see if we have something similar. It happened to me just the other day. I was like, I thought I donated my like camel colored cardigan. And I was like, I'm sure I did. There's no reason I would have kept it. And so I had one in my cart and then I checked out and it was just an instinct. And then I looked and I was like, yep, there it is. I should have looked first. And then I had to return the one that I just got because I bought virtually the same exact thing. So yeah, shop at home first is a really good strategy. So there we go. All right, great. Julie, thank you for that information on Jordans. We love all of these resources. And if you're not ready now, keep a little running list of places and resources. So we're going to get into some resources now if you're ready, and we can add Jordans to that. Rebag.com, REBAG.com, Rebag. They will buy handbags of a more designer quality. So you can connect with them. I have used all of the services. I think I'll make sure. I believe I've used everything that I'm sharing with you. But that's just my personal opinion. There's pros and cons, and everyone's going to feel different about all the things. So, you can sort of decide. I don't know if it's right for you, but you can check. Rebag is going to resell it, so you're not getting top dollar, but Rebag, REBAG. The Real designer and high-end items. You can have an online meeting with them. They'll authenticate the item, even if the bag has a stain or the strap is broken. There's still value in some of these higher end luxury brand items. So yes, I can pop that storage link in the chat, I think in just a minute. And thredup.com. So thredup, you will buy a bag, send your garments, accessories, and clothes, belts, and things to them. You could try it with like 1 or 2 things to see if you like it. They're an online consignment shop, so they set the price and sell it. If they can't sell it, they'll donate it or recycle it on your behalf. If you want it back, you have to pay the $11 return shipping. But ThreadUp is an option. And if you just have a bunch of stuff that you were going to donate anyway, you might send it to them to pass it through them first. But, again, it's at your discretion and you can, make that decision. DSW Shoe Stores accepts shoes for recycling year round. DSW Shoe Stores, shoe recycling year round. Eileen Fisher buys back Eileen Fisher clothing. So if you have any Eileen Fisher. Levi's does denim recycling. Oh, Joyce bought those storage containers from QVC. Yep, they often have them there as well. And just like me, she loves them. So a good thumbs up on those. So Levi's denim recycling. And then finally, looseends.org. And this resource came from a friend of ours in the chat in one of the other Declutter clubs, Loose Ends. So if you have a needlework piece or a quilt that was started by a loved one and that loved one's no longer here to finish it or they can't finish it, they will finish it. So it's an amazing resource. Etsy is similar to that, but you would be commissioning a crafter to make something out of your fabric pieces. So if you have a loved one's garment and you want a pillow or a fabric flower or a stuffed bunny or bear, Etsy can make you a unique piece. So you would just go to Etsy and type something like memory pillow or memory fabric flower or something, and then they all come up, and then you can hire the crafter, send them your fabric, and you'll have a really special piece. We've done that, and it's a lovely gift, whether it's children's clothing or a loved one that's passed. Poshmark.com is where you can sell things. And we are going to have an entire session on Poshmark. So Poshmark, the overall basics is you log on to Poshmark, you make an account, you click sell on Poshmark, you create a listing with this information, and they will suggest a price that you want to maybe consider marking your item as that price. There are no returns. So the buyer cannot return it unless you grossly misrepresented it. So it's an automatic sale. And you can set it that the buyer pays the shipping up to 5 pounds. So if it's a garment or two and it's less than 5 pounds, you can set it that the buyer pays the shipping. It's a flat $7.97. If it costs less, it costs more, it doesn't matter. You're going to get a shipping label to cover 5 pounds of shipping. If it's more, the money comes out of your profit. They can send you a check, so your payment can be a check. And if you want to join us on August 7th, our Declutter Club that day will be on Poshmark and yard sales. So this is just the very quick overview. I would say the one thing to be very careful of to avoid any online scams is only go through the Poshmark website or app. Don't start taking someone's email address because they emailed you about a listing and they want to do it off the Poshmark site. Then you have no protections through Poshmark. So there's no return, so it's a purchase, and if they want to resell it, they can, but no returns. The resources here are some that we shared as we start to wrap up our time together. WelcomeHomeMass.org and HeartSprings.org are specific to the Massachusetts area. If you have fur coats, PETA takes them, and the Bear Cubs organization takes them to help rescued wildlife. You could also check with a local furrier or a fur storage location. You could also check with a tailor or a seamstress. And yep, wildlife, yep, Diane's on the same page I am. So, and then you can donate them, but you could also, if you wanted to sell them. So the same thing that you would do with other things, but if you wanted to donate them for wildlife. That's always fun. Oh, and a local theater company. Love that. Diane's on point with all these ideas. Thank you. So these are just other organizations, and you see the pickup as a reminder to schedule a pickup so that you have an organization coming to collect some things. Onceuponadress.org was for the wedding gowns or gowns that could be used. And then buy nothing groups. Don't overlook them. You know, it's not a donation, but you can just say, hey, I don't need this, and maybe you could take it. So with these resources, I want to remind you, of course, that Massachusetts, we have a textile recycling policy, of course. And so if you're not sure where to send your textiles for recycling, you can check out earth911.com. That's for all across the country, but specific to Massachusetts, who's not throwing them away for sure, earth911.com, and you type in like fabric, and then and your zip code, and it'll tell you where to take it. So I hope that helps. And I'm wondering, what's next for you? This is my favorite part, maybe aside from the live tidy and getting to join you and sharing resources and all the ideas. My next favorite part is what's next, because all the ideas could be great. You got a really great notebook ready to go, but nothing changes until you take action. And we took a mini action together, and I'm wondering what your next mini action is. So what's next for you? If you want to say it like live in the chat, please do. If you'd rather not go public with it, don't worry, but it's always fun to see what you're up to. And of course, you can report back when we get together next month. We'll be together on April 3rd for treasures and collectibles. So what is something worth? What can I do with it? Lynn's going to be cleaning out that guest closet. Yes, go for it. I love it. So these are our upcoming times. So these are our Declutter clubs rolling up. And Anne's going to be listing items so she can list her home for sale. Woohoo! A new chapter. Of course, I want to thank you for joining us. It's always a delight to have everyone here, and I want to invite you back. If you haven't already, you can register. Here is the link for the library, and I'll put a link to the bags in the chat in just a moment. Don't forget that the library has a library of things, so if you're lucky enough to be a card holder, you can do that. I love seeing all the awesome things you're going to do. You can stay in touch with me at jamienovak.com. It's where you can print a free calendar to follow along with the toss of the day. There's a podcast and so much more. So we have concluded our slideshow presentation. I'm thrilled to see all of your lovely comments letting me know that this was helpful and you are excited about continuing on. I'm going to put that Amazon link in the chat. Everyone knows what they're going to do. Here we go. These are these storage bags. and we are ready to get it done. Thank you so much for tuning in with us. Thank you for staying awake for the last hour and joining us for our Declutter Club. We'll be back on April 3rd. We'll do it again. A big thank you to the library for continuing to make these programs possible. We're going to be here all 2025. Well, happy decluttering, everyone. It was so fun to have you here. And yes, I can give you that link. So you should have it. There you go. So that's the Amazon bag link. And is everyone ready to go set a timer? We know what we're going to go do. Oh, I'm so excited for you all. All right. Well, thank you again for joining us. I wish you the much success as you continue on. Let's go set that timer and have another little moment. We're going to declutter together and we'll do it again in April. We'll see you then, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. So long. Have a lovely month. And we'll declutter again together. Oh, I see all the lovely comments. No link. Okay, hang on. How about now? We have it now, maybe, possibly. Okay, look for that. And I can also put the link up at jamienovak.com under my favorite things. So I think we're all good there. All right, let's go set a timer and have another win. Clear out that closet, have a little fashion show, find something you forgot about, and enjoy getting dressed. All right, everyone, so long. See you next month. Thanks again. Bye.